Hello, beautiful, curious, and creatives. Welcome. Today we are going to continue on to our second way to use our third item, which is paper. And this is coming following clearly our previous tutorial, I guess, or craft along, where we made those journal inserts. And so while I'm on that subject, I just want to pause for a minute and say how thrilled I am that those were so well received. I am so happy. I am overjoyed. I am so grateful for all the comments and the messages that I've received, the questions, the subscribers to our little hub that is so small, yet in my head and in my heart we are so big and so mighty. And I think it was because of those inserts. And I'm sitting in this moment for a little bit, and I am just enjoying it and really enjoying that feeling of gratitude that I have. And so I wanted to share that with you, and thank you for that. Thank you for all the things that I just mentioned, the comments, the likes, the questions. It means so much to me, and it's helping us grow. I think as of the time that I am recording, we are, or as of this morning, I should say, because this is the second time I am recording this video. Oh, by the way, we are too shy of 100, which I think it's like the very first milestone. I mean, I think the first milestone is getting the first subscriber, but after that, the 100 subscribers. And so I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it because I'm so grateful for all that. But above all, I am grateful for the inspiration that we're sharing here, and it's mutual, right? It's mutual. And so I wanted to thank you for that, for the support, for joining, for sharing, and for being here, So we are small, but like I said, in my eyes and in my heart and my head, we're so big. We're bigger than life itself. And I'm going to stay in this moment inwardly for a while longer, enjoying it. And outwardly, I am going to go on to what we're setting to do here in this video. As I mentioned, I am doing this the second time because I don't know what happened. Towards the end, I kind of looked up and I was ready to wrap up, and we weren't recording anymore. So, I don't know. I put on more lip gloss. I, gathered the papers, and we're rolling again. So, what are we making today? Excuse me. I'm really not sure what this is. So I'm going to leave it to you to identify it or to label it or call it whatever you want. To me, it's a multi-purpose interactive decoration for our journals. And it is, it's useful. It looks good. It does a couple of things at once, and what more could we ask for, right? And above all, we can use our paper. So I have some samples here because I learned a few videos ago that just because something is so clear in my head as an idea, it doesn't necessarily mean that it can come to be the way that is being that it's developing in my thoughts. So I sat down a little bit the day before yesterday, and I kind of played around. And I am glad that I did, because what I was thinking did not work. So as I was playing with paper, I realized how I needed to tweak it for it to be what I had envisioned. So aesthetically, it looks different, but the idea of it is the same. So with that said, I'm using paper that I don't necessarily dislike. I am using paper that's pleasing to my eye, that I have used before, and I am happy to use again. And I'll tell you what this is. This is actually something that didn't work out when I was, doing the test, or there's a word for that, the prototype, or, bringing the idea to be. So these will be bookmarks. They're beautiful as they are, and there's nothing wrong with that. They just didn't develop into what I originally had in my head. Okay, so we'll put these to the side. The ones that I created as a test are these three, and so you can see that these are the papers that you can tell which is a continuation of a paper, and the papers that I had taken out the first time. I pulled out a couple of sheets of paper, and I sat down and played. And so what is it? Well, it is a tab. I said it was multifunctional. So it is an above the page tab. It is under the page tab. It can be. It is a belly band. It is a page insert. It is a two-sided decoration. And it's a journaling spot. Okay, I know that sounded a little crazy, but I'll show you. So it goes over your journal page. Right, and this is our mock page. This is an 8.5 by 11, folded in half. Because I think this is probably the most used length of paper. And this can be made any length, any width. But we're gonna use it in a mock, typical journal page. Yeah, so look at it. It's a journaling spot. It is a page decoration. It is a bottom of the page, not below the page. Yeah, bottom of the page tab, because it's going to stick out, right? Because this is that's how far it goes. We ended it here with the stitch. A belly band, a tuck, page decoration. Oh, we're doing the same thing on the other side of the paper. So it's a double one, 2 for 1, multi-use, multi-purpose. It's beautiful. And guess what? We use up our paper in a different way. So this is with coffee dyed paper, scrapbook paper. You hear it. Sturdy enough. That's good. I pulled out of my stash this, and these are all the same paper. Something that I picked up at the thrift store a couple of years ago, and it was it's called scrapbook paper, but I guess because it's old, it's a little frail, and I was just being a little too gentle with it. So that's what this is made of. And scrapbook paper, I don't love it as much because I just feel it's delicate, and for what we want to use it to slide it in and out, I don't know that it's the most practical. Still looks beautiful though. I love the way it came out. I'm very happy with it. The fragility of this piece of paper worries me. So this I made with scrapbook paper. Yes. Oh yes, scrapbook paper and coffee dyed paper, okay? And I went back to, you know, just because I was still on that, on a roll from those inserts, I used an eyelet and just put a little piece of seam binding on here. And this is a over the page tab this one has. And then it just has like a little tab at the bottom, right? It doesn't, that's as far as it goes. So you'll get a little bit of that sticking out. So today, while I did the video that you weren't here for earlier, I made these two. And okay, so originally I never intended this to be a pocket, right? This was not at all, because I feel like, how many more pockets can we make for our junk journals, right? Like, we're on pocket overload. And I understand why, because there's just not enough places for us to stuff more things into our journals. You know, I believe in making big, serious, you know, journals, and we don't want a paper clip on every page, so tucks and pockets and things like that I love. But I wasn't thinking of it as a pocket. But clearly, we can never have enough pockets. So as I was making the video before, as I was doing the video, this just dawned on me. So these have a pocket built in. Can you make more pockets on this? Absolutely. You have a whole side that we just have not decorated. Well, I make it sound as if we've done it together, because, you know, at least in my head, we did it together. But the ones that I've made don't have anything on the back. So yeah, you can, you know, add a pocket onto that. You can add a piece of paper, a little bit of fabric, and there's a pocket. You can make a belly band behind it, right? This is going to be whatever you want it to be. This is going to serve whatever purpose you have for it, and you're going to make it whatever width and whatever length you want. These are 3 inches wide because I felt, personally for me, that for the journals that I have in mind, I have a series of 7 journals that I need to get out. And so when I was making these, I was thinking of those journals, and they are your standard, you know, most of the pages, although I have some pages that are shorter. But for me, this made sense, right? This width made sense because personally, I don't feel that it dwarfs the page, right? You still see your journal page, and you still have this that takes enough space in your journal page to add balance to it. And so if this was just intended for journaling, and this, your journal page, was busier, it adds balance. Similarly, if you have a journal page like we often do, that's got nothing on it, and we're thinking of what to put on there, a pocket, do we stencil, do we decoupage, do we put a cluster on it? This will serve the purpose. And this will also, pardon my reach, this will also allow you to put something on it. So yeah, not like we need the pocket, but you know, this one just, you know, we leveled up here with a built-in pocket. So as I'm showing you how to make 1 or 2, oh, the other way, Mimi. As I am showing you how to make another 1 or 2, I'll show you how I did this without you, but you know, in my head we were together. And the concept was the same for this one. So this one has a tab, right? When I say a tab, I mean that it's going to stick out above your page somehow, or for whatever bit. And it has a pocket, and it will go to the end of, you know, the bottom of your journal page is going to go to the bottom, and the top will only go this far, and then you'll have this bit coming out. Okay, I hope all this rambling is making sense to you. Oh, and so here I put a staple, because it doesn't always have to be an eyelet. It could be a cluster. It could be nothing. It's gonna be whatever you want it to be. You're gonna make this in your style, however it looks beautiful to you, and it is going to be whatever you need it to be at that moment. So we're gonna make some generic ones. And so I had 2 sheets of coffee dyed paper. I almost used the first one when I wasn't with you. And this is just leftover. Oh, ignore that. When I was making the prototypes the day before yesterday, I realized a couple of things. So I learned a couple of things. One of the things that I had learned was that, as I mentioned with this paper, right? This paper, the scrapbooking paper. The top, this was a little too frail for me, okay? I love the way it came out for something that I want to be functional and multifunctional, and you know, you want to use freely. This paper was not the best, okay? So I learned that I love coffee dyed paper because it's sturdy. I learned that I like the background to have a print, because for me, that works. For my style and my flow of journals, you know, one side with as a journaling spot, maybe something else, and the back with the print, I can still put something on here. Works for me. So I like that. So I learned that. What I also learned was that for regular scrapbook paper, okay, when this was torn from the pad, this print, so here I have like a newsprint, a print, and I have a pattern. This print was a sheet of scrapbooking paper, not cardstock. It was a regular sheet like this one. No, lies. Like this one, right? So it's not very sturdy, but it holds its own, right? But I wanted it to be a little stronger. So what I did was, yesterday, when I knew that this is what I wanted to work on, I had 3 sheets, these 3 12 by 12s, right? This one was a regular sheet, so I backed it with these papers. That's what this is the leftover from. And I love it because, right, it's sturdy, and that's what I wanted. So I didn't leave it for today because, well, you wouldn't have been here with me, because I would have done it in the previous full recording session that I had. But you don't need to sit there and, you know, watch my glue stick hot mess. So I prepped these yesterday, right? But that's all it was. I just took the 12 by 12 and put the paper on it, and that was that. And when I had turned on the camera before, I cut them. And this was also another sheet. This print was another sheet of scrapbooking paper. This one, however, is cardstock, right? This is strong enough for me, so I didn't back it. If you were to use, you know, like regular cardstock, you may not want to back it. You may feel that the scrapbooking paper, you know, is perfect the way it is. You don't want to back that. So it's whatever feels right to you. You know, I always say that. It's whatever you like, whatever you're comfortable with, however you want to work with it. So on my table, I had the leftover paper that I used for backing these babies. And this was part of one of the papers, and I like this, so I thought, you know, let me let me just put it aside because we may use it to decorate, but you know, the real reason is that I don't throw anything out, so that's really why it's here, but we may use it. That's the secondary reason. Okay, so let's make one or two, and I have to make sure that we're recording. So like I said, we're using, this is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. When we folded, which is what I was using here, we have a typical, right? A typical journal size page. So I know I can use the measurements for this right off the bat because they're perfect. This is what I'm catering to. This is what I'm making to, this length of paper, okay? So I have my ruler here because I had it up before. I have my pieces already cut out. Let me move this here. I'm sorry for the reach. So let's use this one. This is cardstock. It's not backed. It's sturdy enough, I feel. And I know that this is correct, but I do need to, let me back up. I know the height of my paper is correct on the paper that I'm going to cut. But I need to measure the width, right? And I am measuring to these pre-cut strips or panels that are 12 inches long and 3 inches wide. And those are the only measurements I'm going to give you because you may want to make them 5 inches wide. You may want to make them 1.5 inches wide. It's up to you. What I have here is 3 by 12. I would definitely give myself some length because we're going to fold over this paper. But what you do need to adjust is, you know, make sure that both your papers have the same width. Or not. I mean, you may want one wider than the other, but when you fold, one is going to be wider than the other, right? It's going to look like that. So my suggestion is that you keep them the same width unless you have ideas for how those edges are going to look and what you want them to be like. I mean, I don't know. As I'm saying this, I have all kinds of ideas running through my head right now. Advocating for one piece of paper being wider than the other. So let me just focus because I may be going down a rabbit hole with that. Okay, so we have the piece of paper. We have the front panel. We have the back panel, right? And so I think we're gonna do a different one. Oh, for the love of paper, we are gonna do a different one. You know why? Because we can. Because we can, and I'm just seeing this now, and it's not like any of the ones that I have shown you. And I mean, we can, so we're going to. Okay, so the height we want to keep is this. This is a true height, okay? Whatever we do, we need to leave a little more space to allow it to open and to slide whatever in. So with that said, I'm gonna fold to about here, right? Because I think that one, you know, I don't know, whatever that is of an inch or whatever space, I don't know, I don't measure like that, but it's good enough for me. So I'm going to fold here and This is what I'm saying. So, right? You see that? So I am going to, I'm not going to stitch. I stitched a bunch. I'm going to not stitch. However, if you are going to stitch, right? If you're going to run this through your machine, let's say you're aiming for something like this. Our stitches here. You want to place it maybe with a dab of glue where you want it to go, and then take it to your sewing machine and put the stitch on it, because once you seal up here, unless your stitch is going to go on both, you're not going to be able to stitch it. This one I sealed on just these 2 pieces of paper, right? You see that? So it's kind of like a faux stitch, but I was just looking to make the pocket on this. So this is the time to do it, but I don't want to stitch. And I'm going to bring the paper all the way to the bottom, because I am going to leave this part, this margin, as my tab. I'm actually going to bring the paper up a little bit, because I'm going to seal here, and the paper needs, when I put this in my journal, it's not going to go all the way here, because I'm going to glue up here. However, I'm going to seal up there. So it needs a little more space at the bottom to fit. Okay. So, let's distress. And then we're going to move on. Okay. So guys, tell me, how are you doing? What are you up to? Have you made those inserts? If you have, I haven't seen any from anyone. Show them to me. Let me see. Today is May 1st. Yeah, today's Wednesday. May 1st. Happy May. When I was younger, I used to hear people say that once you hit 35, time goes by so fast, and I always think about that when I'm about to say, oh, I can't believe how fast the year is going. Yeah, it's going fast. So I hope everyone's making the most of it, and that you're well, that you're healthy, you're feeling well, you're doing things that you love. I'm going to do the back because, you know, we're going to see the back. The sun keeps coming in and out, and I'm noticing it even though the window is behind me. So I'm assuming that you're noticing it too, and I hope it's not distracting for you. And if it is, I'm really sorry. Okay, so I'm good with that bit of a 1/2 inch up here, more or less. I want to give my paper some room. I want to give myself some room to stuff something in there. So I am going to glue the bottom of the front panel, and then I am going to glue up to make the pocket, right? I'm not going to glue here because I don't want this closed. I want this to continue to be open. Right? My paper is going to go like that, so I don't want to put glue here or here. I'm going to glue just here. And then that's going to, you know, fix it. And fix it in place, not fix it in place. Okay. And so I think that I have maybe, I'm guesstimating just to make the pocket. Sorry, I am guesstimating. Oh, this Fabri-Tac makes me so nervous because, you know, you have like no time with it. There's no changing your mind. There's no repositioning. It's, you apply it, and the train leaves the station. Okay, Now, does all that other rambling make sense? Right, so you don't go all the way. You give yourself a little room. And this is the tab that's going to be, you know, exposed. But the band, that belly band, whatever it is, starts below here, right? So I'm going to glue here to seal that. There's a little bit of, you know, logistics with this, but once you make one or two, it's like, oh, you know, and as you're folding, you'll get an idea to do it a different way. And I mean, I don't know, that's what's happened to me. And when I'm all over the place like that, like I think, oh, this has to happen to everybody, you know? Like you look at something and you go, oh, and then you have 5 different ideas floating in your head. Okay. So we know that here, because there aren't enough pockets in a junk journal, there is a pocket here, right? And you know, I'm not throwing shade. I'm really not. Even though I kind of am, but it's just, I don't know, like, no more pockets. But can we have some more, please? It's such a contradictory thing. So I don't know. To me, it's nicer when you can, you know, you can have a pocket, but it's really something else too. Multifunctional stuff is the best, I think. And what do we do with this? Well, whatever we want to do with it, we can put a piece of ribbon on it. We can, you know, I said we were going to use these and we still have not. Oh, I kind of like that. Oh, wait. I cut this to make a... Oh, actually, when I was trying to put my idea, get my idea to work, I cut this because I needed a tie closure. And I think I like this. And I'm not sure that I think I like it like that. Okay. So let's do that. I'm sorry, I'm trying to see which way it goes, and it's like this. Yeah, let's do that because I think that works, and why not? And again, you can, you know, sorry. Oh, no, I forgot. Okay. You can decorate these as much as you want. You can use whatever paper you want that has a different print, and you know, you're in charge. You do whatever your heart tells you, and however the spirit is moving you at that time as you create. You go with the flow. Okay, so here's one. So this really looks like a bookmark because it doesn't, you know, it's kind of simple, very straightforward. What do you think? I love them. I think they're great. And this you can decorate as well. And you can add another pocket, or you can, you know, paper clip something onto here and slide something in here. I mean, this, the uses for this, excuse me, they just add up. Okay, so we're gonna call this one done, as they say. Let's make another one. We're gonna use the piece of paper that is backed. I am loving the grunge on this piece of coffee dyed paper, so I want to use it with you guys. And we're going to measure our width. We know this is, oh, do we? No, I think it's actually backwards. Oh, so this is 8.5. So this is our length. Is that what I was doing? If that's not what I was doing, that's what I should be doing. Because we want it to be, yes, this is the width of the letter size paper. So it's going to be the height of our journal. Okay. Okay. Okay, beautiful. Let's distress and see if I can think of how I want to do this one. I'm actually feeling like I want to do a bottom of the page tab. I kind of like those. Okay, lies. I really like those, but forget to do them or make them, add them on to my journals. I mean, I do, but not as often. I don't give it enough thought to be deliberate about it. You know, it's usually like, oh, I forgot. Let me just, you know, do one here. So I think doing it with this is, well, definitely deliberate. So let's do a bottom of the page, please. So for this one, I want to say, so if we were to do one for the bottom of the page or top of the page, okay, I just want to mention, we have to think, you know, logistically, you do have to give this a little bit of thought, but that's just part of the making process. You always want to make sure that you clear this space and then a little more on each end, right? So if we're going to do a bottom of the page tab, we want to give enough room for this and then enough room for the tab itself, whether we're going to stitch it or, you know, do a punch or whatever it is. So if we were to, for this one, I'm going to start from the top. I'm going to start from the top because once I clear the space here, so now it's really shifting this length down to here because I am going to, I'm going to stitch this one. No, I'm just going to glue it. I'm going to glue it, and then if I want to stitch it, I can stitch it. So I'm already using up some of that space, right? I'm already using up some of that length or the height. Okay, by gluing this up here. I've already taken up whatever space this glued part is using up from this, which is our perfect height. So that means that as we go along now to measure the bottom, to figure out the bottom, we're going to need to measure. And how do we do that? Well, this is the best way. I'm not going to go all the way to the top because I don't want to press on that. So I want to leave it. I want to leave it, you know, this would be pressing it. I'm going to bring it down. I want to give a room. I don't want to compromise this, because I may still want to do a stitch here. I may not want to do anything. I may want to put a ribbon on it. I'm not compromising this. So I'm going to say the paper is going to start here, right? I'm going to say the paper is going to start here. And then I'm going to bring this up enough that I can cover it. And this is a good place for me to fold it. And I'm going to tell you why. Right here, this is the line, the marker, right? Because it's going to give me this free space, and it's going to come up to meet the paper where I want to glue it. So I'm gonna, or close to that, you know, to the mark. And I will show you, right? So this is the length of our journal page, or this is what we're making to. If we want it shorter, you decide you want to put this in a shorter page, then you just glue up further if you don't want your page to slide up and down, or glue further into this end or glue further into this end. Here, right? On this part of the belly band. So we're making to that. I am going to, while I have my mock page in there, I'm going to glue where I want to seal it, right? Where I want to say this does not go any further than this on this part, which is like right here, right? I'm still going below my paper. I gave it some room up here, and I'm giving it some room here. Okay. So I know that from that glued part down, I can do whatever. I can stitch it. I can put a staple on it. I can put an eyelet on it or two. And dangle something from it, put nothing on it. I've become a real fan of just doing the eyelets and leaving them. Just because they add a little something, and then you can add something when you're ready to use it, right? Not everything has to be done now unless you know what you want. If you're not sure, you can, you know, prep your canvas and then you build on it. Okay, so for this one, now I'm going to do the same thing as the other one. I'm going to glue on the bottom of this, and then I am also going to glue on the top of this one because I don't want a pocket on this one. I'm just gonna seal it, okay? And hopefully you can see this. Oh, I need to clean the tip of that. This is why I backed my pages yesterday. All by myself. Because I have no business handling scissors or glue. You know why? Because I can't. I can't. Okay. Are you with me? I haven't lost you, have I? So we want to make a bottom of the page tab. Okay, and there it is. So the thing about this is that this could really just stay like that, right? This could stay like this. And it doesn't have to be a bottom of the page because this paper is not directional. So I don't really care how it looks in the back, but I do care about this, which is the downside of using cardstock sometimes if you fold it too hard. Okay. This could be a top of the page tab. And it would be perfect. So I'm going to put an eyelet on this. And this is going to have a dangle at some point. Okay. Why don't we put a dangle on it today? Hopefully I won't poke an eye out and all will be good in the world. I think the obvious would be this brassy looking one, but I think I want to go with that just for a little, I don't know, a little something, something, something. Okay. Okay. We want to dangle, we said. Yes. Let me grab something that I can put on there. And, oh, we're going to go so big. We are going to go so big. Yes, we are. Because we can. Like, really big. That's how we're going to go. And that will be good for one of my bigger books on a smaller page. Or, okay, so this is something that I am thinking about, but it's not well formulated yet in my head. Clearly, we're going to celebrate our milestone. And I'm so excited about that because I get to give you something that we've made that hopefully you have enjoyed or love or would like to have. So I'm thinking for the 100 subscriber milestone, I'm going to do a giveaway of and I discussed all of this with you in my last recording, but since you didn't hear it, I'm going to tell you again. A sample or a grab bag, as they call it, only because I'm not sure exactly which or how many of each or, you know, how big it's going to be, of all the things that I have made in the channel, in our little hub, I want to call it, since I started making things. So it would be the ephemera. I've shared some ephemera and then made some of that with you guys. I've also shared some journals. So I want to say of the ephemera that I have shared, whether we've made it or not together, it will be included in this little giveaway. So I have to figure out how they're done. I know that people usually ask, so there's a record of who is eligible to comment, to like and comment, which, you know, I would love if you did, even if I wasn't giving you anything, and subscribe and, oh God, since I'm asking, let me just put it out there and share. But for the giveaway, I think to keep track, and if I'm saying something that's not true or missing information, please just add it on in the comments down below so I can be well versed in, you know, what I'm doing. So starting today, starting with this video, because we're so close, we're almost there. We're just a couple of subscribers away. So starting with this video, and I think I want to say maybe in the next 2 weeks. So we'll run it from May 1st to May 15th. Oh my God, imagine if by May 15th we don't have 100 subscribers. Okay, so I guess it's contingent upon reaching 100 subscribers before the giveaway date. Oh, geez. Okay, so comment, like, please subscribe if you're so moved to do it, starting with this video. And from this video on, I will have a pool of people that I'll have YouTube draw a name. I know other people have done it like that. So I'll have to do my research. But if you know and you would like to share your knowledge, I'd love to hear it. Yeah, so from May 1st to May 15th. And yeah, hopefully we'll get to 100 in the next 2 weeks. I'm confident. I'm really confident. Okay, so this is the next one. Guys, really, tell me what you think about this, because I think this is like, this is awesome. And I love it because it's multifunctional. That's my big draw. I'm only making 2 with you because I've gone on forever. And we're almost to an hour. And I've shown you different different types, and I think you grasp. I think you grasp what we're doing here. Did we do a pocket together? Wait, oh yeah, we did. We did a pocket, right? So you know how to do the pocket. And you know, to do the tab either at the bottom or at the top. The main thing is to be aware of the length of the paper. But you know what? I want to make one more with you because I love threes. I'm all about threes. So let's do 3. And then we'll be done. Okay, so I'm gonna measure. And the width, because this is my length. Okay, I am going to distress. I'm getting so nervous because I'm not sure why it stopped recording the last time. I saw that at the end the video was like 23 minutes long, so I'm not really sure what happened, and I just don't want it to stop recording now. But I'm not going to be sloppy about what I'm doing. I have an iPhone and I don't have the ability to pause a video, and I don't use any other applications to, I mean, okay, this is funny because why would I even be telling you this, that I don't edit my videos? That's very obvious, I know. So once the recording stops, you know, the video's done. So I don't want that to happen. Okay, so what do we want to do with this one? Do we want to, how about we do a little fold over here at the top? I'm gonna do a little fold over and leave a little space. Not necessarily because I want to do anything with it, but if I then later feel that I want to do a little bit of stitching, right, I'll have, you see where it's folding? I'll have a little bit of space there. So let me do that. We're gonna do that there. But you know what I'm gonna do? Actually, I am gonna do the stitching because I want you to see what I'm saying about stitching before, if you are so moved to do that. Okay, so I'm going to glue here, always on my paper, because that is my guide for size, right? That is my guide for the height. And I'm going to bring it as close as I can to the edge of my folded backer. Okay, so I have left myself this much space, right? You see the space here? That's what I've left myself to play with. Okay, so then it's a little wonky, but we don't care. I'm going to actually say that I'm going to measure it visually, because I'm going to say, even though the paper is a little further up there, I'm going to say that my insert measurement starts from below this, and then I'm going to give it a little more. Nothing wrong with giving it a little more. You're just building a nice little cushion for yourself for, you know, oops. And then again, if it's just too short, go to a shorter piece of paper. Use it on on a shorter piece of paper. So I'm not gluing anything yet down here, but I am going to, I'm going to make this a little bit of a tuck here with the stitching because I want to show you. Okay, so I gave myself plenty of room here as well. You see that? From where this ends to the edge here, which will compensate for the little bit of, you know, paper that we used up here, right? You see? So the paper ends here and we glued here. So this is going to be plenty of room. We give ourselves a little bit of space here below the folded backer, and we're still not at the bottom here. Okay, you see that? We're still not at the bottom. So I want to run a stitch through this top. I need to make sure that I do it below the paper, so I'm going to do it closer to the top edge. And because I don't have a lot of room, I am going to do a straight stitch so that zigzag doesn't take that much space, because I like my zigzag stitch wide. So we're gonna go for a straight stitch. Okay, there it is, a wonky straight stitch, but a straight stitch nonetheless. And then here, before I glue, this stitch would be a faux stitch. And by that I mean it's not gonna go through both pieces of paper, right? Because this paper that I keep tearing, maybe you can. I mean, if you're that kind of sewer, as people say, or you can do that kind of stitch, more power to you. I have no idea how to do it, and I'm not taking on more than I can chew right now. So I'm just gonna run a faux stitch on this piece of paper before I glue it to make a little pocket. So I need to see where I'm at, and then what I'm gonna do is glue. And I am going to glue below here. I'm gonna glue. Oh, I may not have a lot of room. I may not have a lot of room at all to run a stitch. So it may be just a plain straight stitch. Okay, so here it looks like this is my top, obviously. I don't wanna go all the way up. I wanna leave a little room where I have it, which is here, right? So this gives me enough room between the stitch and the piece of paper. Okay, so now where I see where my paper ends, that's where I'm gonna glue right below it, because I know that I built my, this is nasty, I built my cushion up on top. So I went down here. You see where my glue is? Okay. So, oh, girl. Okay. Hang on. Hang on. Okay. While that dries, I am going to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cover this up. You know, I don't mind that raggedy edge like that at all. I kind of like it. So, you know, when I'm folding it, if it's ripping, I love it. I'm going to glue here so I can, you know, secure the pocket. I mean, am I like totally covering what I'm doing so you don't see it? Okay. So I just glued the sides. The paper wants to get away from me. Let me close this. Okay. I'm having a feeling about this and, oh, no. Okay. So you know what I'm going to do, just because I'm unsure and I don't want to mark where I'm going to stitch. I'm going to take this whole thing. No, I can gauge it. Okay, below the third line. I'll be right back. Let me run the stitch. Okay. So there it is. I have to tell you, I really love the way the scrapbook paper feels with the backing on it. It feels nice and sturdy. You feel very confident sliding stuff in there. Highly recommend. Highly recommend, especially if you have, you know, papers that I don't glue over book pages. Some people do. And if you have, you know, those extra pages, and you're looking for something to do with them, yep, highly recommend. Okay, so what we do know about this is that it has a pocket. And it could actually be a top tuck if we had done the back a different way. Directional paper. If you're thinking of covering this, or this doesn't matter to you, this could be that too. But this could be that too, right? These butterflies could go like this. This could be a bottom tab, right? So I hope you try this. I hope you try this. We've been together an hour. The second time, I am so glad that you guys were here. I hope you find this useful, and I hope that you are above all inspired by it. Enough to make some. Let's do a quick run of the ones that we have. We made this one. We made this one together. And we made this one together. And this is another way to do it. 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 And if it doesn't work out, you can turn them into a bookmark. And that's perfectly fine. I hope you try it. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, I would love to see them. Please know that this thank you comes to you from the very bottom of my heart. I am so grateful for all of you. Grateful that you're here. Grateful for everything that you're doing. I'm grateful that you are inspiring me and that you are inspired. I will be back to finish this series off with the third way to use our third item, which is paper. And I hope that you are here with me again next time. I hope that you are well, you are healthy, you are loved, you are safe, and that you are thriving and doing everything that makes you happy. Thank you again so much. And I will see you guys next time. Love you guys. Bye.